the high-end Munich 2023, and next to me is Costa. And you've been in our videos probably every year, but this time you have something bigger to announce, and it's called the North Series.
Yes, Yap, absolutely. This year marks a bit of a departure for us compared to all the Munich shows we've done in advance, because we're launching something that is very new and very exciting for us. As you probably know, at Simaudio, we don't change our products very often. The Moon brand has been around since 1997, and while we've changed models over the years, we generally don't do this very often at all. We have models that we keep active for 10 years or even more sometimes. What we've done now is we've accumulated over the last several years many new technologies that we've designed by ourselves in many cases, other new technologies that we find very exciting that we just cannot incorporate into existing products, but we keep them aside for new and future products. So what we've done here is we've launched a series of new products. We don't call it a series, we call it a collection.
Yeah, I thought it was a series within a series, but you're going to clarify.
Collection. And it's a collection of new products, 6 new products for the time being. More will be added next year that we call North. Now, as a collection of products, it is more of an association, a grouping of products. It's not really a series. More of an association, but less of a series. North simply is the name that groups these 6 products together. Okay, and within these 6 products, there's 2 in the 600 range, 2 in the 700 range, and 2 in the 800 range. The 600 range products are over here, the 2 on the right, and they are called the 641 integrated amplifier and the 681 streaming DAC. And these 2 models are direct replacements for the current models that we make called the 600i V2 and the 680D streaming DAC.
So it's a successor.
These are actually the successors. They are direct replacements. They are improvements. They've been redesigned entirely, utilizing the same design philosophies that we've always adopted over the course of our development, all the years that we've been designing products. But they have a lot of new technologies, and they're improved in performance and functionality. The 641 retains the same power as the current 600i V2 at 125 watts per channel, but it has a nice graphic display on the front, new and improved electronics. It's a superior sounding product to the 600i, and price-wise it is very similar, just marginally more expensive. The 681 streaming DAC is a substantial upgrade over the 680D because, as you probably know, in the digital world, technologies evolve very quickly, so it's understandable that the new DAC would be quite a ways better than the current one. Functionality is very similar, but it also includes its own volume control. So for those that have just a DAC as a source, only digital sources, and don't need a separate preamp, you can actually connect the 681 directly to a power amplifier. It is the first streaming DAC ever in the Moon range that has variable outputs as a standard feature.
Is it an analog volume control or digital?
It is what we call it MHV, Moon Hybrid Volume. It is a combination of both, but it has none of the disadvantages of a digital volume control. It actually borrows a lot from the advanced analog digitally controlled volume systems that we have in our more expensive products. But it is somewhat different at the same time, but carries the benefits of both. The purity of an analog volume control without the disadvantages of the digitals. Yeah, and that's the 681. Moving up to the 700 range, we have 2 models, and those are not the ones here. Those are actually the ones playing. Yes, they're over there. And they are the 791 network player preamplifier and the 761 power amplifier. Now the 791, which is the network player preamplifier, doesn't replace anything in the lineup because we don't have a network player preamp in this range to replace. It essentially includes a preamplifier, a DAC, a network player, everything in one chassis, designed at a very high level of performance.
Sounds like a very good addition.
It is one exciting product, and it has a performance level that is really deserves the 700 level that it is part of. It's a very high performance DAC, a very high performance preamp, and of course it includes a Mind 2 network player built in, so it has our Mind 2 streaming platform. The power amplifier in the 700 range is called the 761. And even though model for model, you can call it the replacement for the 760A, it is not really, in terms of product quality, a replacement for the 760A at all, because the 761, first of all, puts out almost twice the power, 200 watts per channel, and it's a much larger amplifier and more expensive as well. So it's a definite upgrade over the 760A, and it's called the 761. And then we move up to the 800 range, which are the two products we see over here. And we have two models, the 891 network player preamp, which is functionally similar to a 791, but on a higher level of performance. There are some feature differences too, of course, but the main difference is a higher level of sonic performance.
How did you achieve that? What are the differences, key differences?
Some of the key differences are the DAC section, for example, utilizes a different DAC, and the DAC section of the 891 is comprised of 16 channels of DACs, 8 per channel, 8 for the left, 8 for the right, in a fully monaural balanced configuration. Whereas the 791 uses a similar design approach, but with half the quantity of DACs of the 891. In addition, the 891 adopts an isolated audio board that is entirely decoupled from the rest of the chassis. This reduces microphonics, which are harmful to sound. Okay, so we've addressed that in here. There's something called the Moon damping base, which is a special base that helps the entire audio board operate at the identical temperature throughout, which again improves the matching of all the electronic components, because temperature can be the enemy of high performance. When you have matched devices but they operate at wildly different temperatures, they are not so matched anymore.
We heard that with another brand as well, something about temperature.
It's engineering principle. It's not something of our own entirely, but we address the problem.
It's funny you mention it as well.
Exactly, with the Moon, not with the damping base, but with the it's part of the damping base. It's a large, heavy base that the entire board is affixed onto, and it cools everything to the same temperature simultaneously. So everything operates at its ideal specification, and you get better matching between channels, you get a better sound stage, you get better sound overall. That's another feature that's only in the 891. Okay. Moving on to the power amplifier, the 861, which is This is the largest stereo single chassis amplifier that we make. It is, in a sense, again, the replacement for this 860 AV2 model for model, but in terms of performance, power, and all that, it's a definite step above. It is a pricier amplifier, but it's also quite a bit larger and boasts 300 watts RMS per channel into 8 ohms, 600 watts per channel into 4 ohms. And it weighs about 55 kilos. So it's quite a beast of an amplifier, yeah. The 4 models that include a remote control, in other words, the 2 network player preamps, the integrated, and the DAC, this is called the BRM1. And this is a huge departure from the remote controls we've done of the past, in that it's an interactive volume control because it feeds back information from the front panel display with a rotary knob. It sits very nicely in your hand, and it's very easy to operate even with one hand.
I have to say, wow. I really like this.
And it's not an infrared remote control, so line of sight is not required. Bluetooth protocol with a rechargeable battery, and the Bluetooth allows it to have a long battery life as well. And of course, you can go around, you don't have to point it at the machine to operate it, and wherever you may be, even in another room, you have the volume readout.
It's included?
Yes. The BRM1, as it's called, is included with the 891, the 791, the 641, and the 681. Only the power amps do not include it because as a power amplifier, they don't need a remote control.
Learn from that, please, other manufacturers, because sometimes not a remote is not even included. Still, in this day.
It's a shame if that's the case. But we designed the remote to be very ergonomic because this is also the part that the user will have in their hands. This is where the connection is made with the product. It's through this. So it's important that it have a certain luxurious feel, a certain tactile operation, size, absolutely.
It is really nice.
It's nicely, and the rubberized bottom also means that when you put it on the tabletop, it won't slide around.
No, and you can operate it with one hand.
Absolutely. That's one of the design criteria, to be able to operate it with one hand. Yeah. All of these products continue to be made in Montreal, in our own factory, just like our current products, all with a 10-year warranty as well. So no change there at all. These products are not yet shipping as of today here at the Munich High-End Show. The 700 level products will be shipping in September, the 600 level products in October, and the 800 level products in November, December.
So that's fall 2023.
All 2023. And we will have more products in the North collection in 2024. Exactly.
Thank you for your time. We didn't make the 5 minutes, I think, but it was quite short to explain such a large amount of equipment. Nicely done. I love the remote. And maybe that's just a detail, but I love the remote. It's really awesome. I hope we can have a sample as soon as possible around fall 2023 to at least try the 700.
We can make that happen. Of course, through our partners in the Netherlands, through More Music, I'm positive we could do something.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Bye-bye.